number 3 says, this is hold on. This is them long ones again. Let me see if I can fix it up. Should be topic number 3 says, reading this from the Baha'i faith would make Hegel proud. How can black people be mad at this when they use terms, black people, like sub-Saharan Africa, or even terms like Bantu, Niger-Congo, Afro-Asiatic, Nilu-Saharan, and Khoisan, right? You guys, this came with a link that takes us to Discord. So if you guys don't know, I have a Discord server, the Bitter Medicine podcast server. This is where folks post their shoot the breeze topics that we discuss every week. So you should join the Discord as well if you'd like to see some of your interests being discussed by the panel. Click the link. It's also pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description. Join the Discord. Hit me up. I'm Koku on there. And, start posting your topics as well. All I appreciate it. Also, if you are on the Discord and you think it's kind of quiet, just reach out to me and suggest some ways that you think we can make it more lively, etc. So this post on Shoot the Breeze was from Trigger Happy on the Discord. He says, the black man, this is a quote, the black man must ever be grateful to the white man, for he has manifested great courage and self-sacrifice in behalf of the black race. For years, he fought their cause, enduring severe hardship, sacrificing life, family, treasure, all for his black brother until the Great War until the Great War ended in the proclamation of freedom. By this effort and accomplishment, the black race throughout the world has influenced and benefited. I'm messing up. Had this not been accomplished, the black man of Africa would still be bound by the chains of slavery. Therefore, his race should everywhere be grateful, for no greater evidence of humanism and courageous devotion could be shown than the white man has displayed. If the blacks of the United States forget this sacrifice, zeal, and manhood on the part of the whites, no ingratitude could be greater or more censurable. If they could see the wretched condition and surroundings of the black people of Africa today, the contrast would be apparent, and the fact clearly evident that the black race in America enjoys incomparable advantages. The comfort and civilization under which they live here are due to the white man's effort and sacrifice. Had this sacrifice not been made, they would still be in the bonds and chains of slavery, scarcely lifted out of an aboriginal condition. Therefore, always show forth your gratitude to the white man. This is from the Promulgation of Universal Peace, page 12. And this is something that the Baha'i faith, I guess, teaches out to black folks. In the chat, NYC Sports Archive says, is that Uncle Ruckus writings? Or is it Stephen A. Smith? He said, nah, it must be Tim Scott who wrote this shit. This is very interesting. And this goes to show this issue with religion. This with foreign religion at that. We gotta come up with a way of reintroducing our religion with a punishment mechanism, with more scare tactics, I think. These guys talk about, for the rest of time, into perpetuity, you'll be burning in a lake of fire. What are we talking about? What is the punishment? And I know our systems weren't developed that way on this punishing of people, these people who are born to be punished. I get it. But if we expect to compete in this thing, our spirituality, if we're going to try to get people to re-Africanize, it has to have something that makes it almost impossible to ignore, almost impossible to deny. You know, because this thing that they have us on, this spell, this religious, this magic, this curse that they have us under is something else, man. We gotta have something that's less passive to this stuff. And it's time we start developing that too, man. Especially those of us on the continent who are the spiritual practitioners. It's time to start producing not worship, but worship through these spiritualities now. It's time to put something on the table now to get people to say, hey, listen, I gotta be about this. How do I expect my ancestors who have gone on to the other side, how do I expect them to help me when I cry out for help? When I have at best a passing belief and understanding of these spiritual systems. Because this other guy has has pushed the weight of this thing that he does on us. It's a shame. We have to start to get more serious. We have to get more serious. Imagine the black people who are in this faith, who accept this shit here as good and correct. Meanwhile, we have these spiritual systems as ours, that's been passed down for generations, even through the interruption of the Ma'afa. But we don't fuck with that stuff because there's no punishment in it. Like this, and I'm sorry that we have to develop that, but we're gonna have to do something. We're gonna have to do something. I'm sorry I ranted there, but
no, that's okay. It's okay. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. Needed to be said. Coco, I don't mean to jump the line because I know you want to go to RBG first, but let me say this. Do you know who one of the prominent members of the Baha'i faith is? There is a lady called Dr. Joy DeGray. I don't know if y'all brothers know who she is. She wrote this book called Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome.
Yeah, she's a part of that faith?
Absolutely. So my challenge to Trigger Happy is to email her. Email her with the same quote. I really am curious to know how she will respond to this. Because she is a Baha'i member. So I really would like to know what she would have to say in response to a quote like this. I'm curious to know. So if you find an email, I'm sure it's public. Email her publicly and see what she has to say about this particular passage.
All right, Buana. I'll go to RBG and I'll throw it back to you, the quarterback. RBG, what say you to this Baha'i faith quote that we just read here?
Man, what kind of racist dribble is this, man? What kind of like idiocracy in half-baked prejudice is this, man? I mean, therefore, always show forth your gratitude to the white. Yo, dog. Nah, I can't. I mean, this is what happens when people take are very ignorant and don't know anything about anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like they start to make stuff out of whole cloth. You know what I'm saying? This is that creationism. Like, just grateful and just be glad. Gratitude. Really? I mean, this is John. This is John. What's his dude? What's his name? You know what I'm saying, dude? John. abolitionist dude, John Brown. This is John Brown. You know what I'm saying? In text, Joe. Just be absolutely happy. It's just like, you know, black people, you know, didn't free themselves, Joe. You know, don't worry about Nat Turner, yo. You know what I'm saying? All this is just a way to nullify black self, you know what I'm saying, self-regulation and self, just, you know what I'm saying, just to really, you know, nullify yourself. I mean, I didn't know anything about Baha'i, what they would, you know what I'm saying. I'd heard about them, you know what I'm saying. I've seen them around. Yeah, if this is what they on, yeah, okay, yeah. But I might have to read into some of this a little bit more. Who is this Abdul Baha? Is this the dude who wrote it? Authoritative text, Abdul Baha, and these are the Baha'is. Okay, so this is his stuff. Yeah, yeah. I'm reading a collection of transcripts over 100 talks delivered by Abdul Baha in 1912 when he traveled across the United States. Oh, so this dude was just strolling around, not knowing nothing. He, like I said, not knowing nothing about nothing. I read this stuff out of whole cloth. Okay, yeah. Let me go ahead. I didn't say my piece. I didn't say what I said. Let me go ahead and listen to someone else. I might jump back in.
I appreciate that, RBG. But before you dip, RBG, there is the other part of the problem. How can we be mad at this thing, right? But then accept these white classifications of black, you know, equals African people? What say you to that?
Let me think. Now this is the thing. Now I honestly am kind of conflicted about the whole Bantu term in and of itself. Now, if our people, if that's a term that African peoples use, and that and please correct me as I'm you know what I'm saying, talking out loud. Like if Bantu means people, then I know to say Bantu people is redundant. It's like saying people. You know what I'm saying? But I get that. That's my whole thing. I mean, that's the one thing. If the word Bantu is something that these white folks made up because they heard something and misconstrued it, I get that. But if the term itself is something that was actually part of our vernacular and you know what I'm saying, in utterance that we used, I don't know what the you know what I'm saying, I don't know why there's any conflict with that. I think that we have to contextualize it proper. I mean, our word is our word. That's part of St. Cofer. We can't let this white man say something that we said and then it becomes his. How's that work? Just take our word back. You know what I'm saying? Put a syllable on it and make it right. It's not. I don't think it's that hard. Now, the whole, now as far as like the language families that I see right here, like Niger, Congo, Afro-Asian. Okay, those are again. This is going back to language families. This is linguistics. I mean, we can't. I mean, Congo is a term that our peoples were used in that various area, that river valley and whatnot. I mean, if they call the river Congo, I mean, who am I to say how long did they say that use that term? I don't know. It's hard to get into linguistics, especially if you don't have, you know what I'm saying, you know, time frames upon, because words get made, you know what I'm saying, in any given time frame. People go, a new instance of an objects or phenomenon to happen, we call it something. It doesn't, you know what I'm saying, it's a word that may be related to multiple other words. It's how words work. Their sounds. I mean, there's so many consonants and and vowels that we twist on it, and we throw sound at it, and we give it a name. Everyone throws sound at it, and you know what I'm saying. But other people throw sound at the same thing, call it something else. It's
I hope I don't want to cut into RBG. Sorry for cutting into you, RBG. Forgive me, brother. But I can assume, I don't want to jump out of the window, but I can assume this is coming from Trigger Happy. Let me assume that. And Trigger Happy and KMG Verse, they are almost on a professional level when it comes to linguistics and African spirituality. And sometimes they rap people who are not even novice, you know, regular people. They rap us on the knuckles for not getting the terms right in terms of how we should approach Black people from these traditions and cultures. I am I'm a West African man who was brought to the shores of the Caribbean and taught in a so-called British format. We standard English. So I know standard English. To my uh through my life course and life experiences, I pick up languages. I conversational in French, I conversational in Spanish. I am not necessarily. I am get back to my native African languages. I am not a linguist by no means. So there are some. You have to forgive us for the limitation of our languages and how we approach things. We approach things on a very elementary level. Yeah, I mean, when you have these kinds of linguistic conversations and even to some degree spiritual conversations, I think that you and KMG Verse will be very good because y'all can meet out at y'all could suit each other's needs. I think that my approach is more a little bit on the practical side of things on this side of the Atlantic. So you might get something different from us. It's not to say that we don't know any better. It's just you have to understand the audience and understand the classroom you're in. This is a different kind of classroom. That's why I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there if he could understand that, and I'm sure he does.
Yeah. So in the chat, Trigger Happy 262 Plus says, I also want to say to continue with the prompt, this who push the language families have to accept that Islam and Christianity are African. Afro-Asiatic as a phylum gives room to the relatedness of semantic people and Africans. If we uphold Afro-Asiatic Abrahamics are right, that the Middle East is Northeast Africa, so Islam is indigenous. So we get the idea that of what Trigger Happy is trying to get to. If we accept one, the cascade of that, right? If we accept that we are Nilotic and all this old shit, and that wasn't what we were calling ourselves, then what's the difference in not accepting this stuff here on the screen? You might as well as accept whatever they give you. You know, everything is politics, says, and to think some Black folks subscribe to such religion. Crazy. Also, it recently dawned on me that some white folks probably jerk off at the sight of torture in those transatlantic historical movies. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, is there any other thoughts on this prompt from you guys? Any last thoughts that came to you? All right. I didn't expect no last thoughts. Again, if you guys are out in the chat and you feel like you want to add your thoughts to the conversation, just click the link at the top of the chat. It's pinned to the top is labeled panel. Just click that link and join. Hold on. Join the conversation with us. I want to thank RBG and Buana for being here tonight and helping with this conversation as well.